Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Vulcan Report. This end of day precious metals report is for trading on Thursday, August the 18th, 2016. Starting off with gold futures, you can see here that gold powered up a little bit today. Market's well supported at 1342, and it is locking in this bull trend cycle. So I expect that the 1380 to 1400 area excuse me, should be challenged by next week, and we're setting pretty for that to happen. excuse me, should the 1400 area be taken out and the market actually close above 1400, that could signal a parabolic upthrust in the gold market. So this market is starting to show signs of major powering up. In a following video, I will show you some more information from the system chart. As a matter of fact, if you haven't already done so, you're going to want to uh, head on over to the blog, and I did post this week's system technicals for you for the gold market. All right, and I think that you would benefit greatly from that, so you can see exactly what the market forces are up to. All right, switching our focus now to the equity side of the gold, looking at Nugget, ticker symbol NUGT. Now these leveraged ETFs, you gotta trade cautiously because they're prone to these gaps. All right, these kind of gapping moves. All right, they're sensitive to movements of in the overnight markets from the futures. So just keep that in mind. You may not be able to hold them beyond 3 to 5 days. You may have to cycle yourself in and out of them. All right. Sometimes you can catch like a trend like this, but like I said, 3 to 5 days max. In this one, if you were short, it gave you that 5 days right here, right in here, and then look, it's turning up. So this market is catching a bid based off of what gold did today. All right, so you can see the momentum's pointing up in this, and it's even though it's still in a negative pulse wave position, this momentum is trying to change that, and it's getting back above this trend line here. All right, that's strong, that's powerful, that's what you want to see. All right, so this is setting up to be something pretty dynamic. So we'll have to wait and see how it develops. Tomorrow is Take Back Friday, by the way. And what can you say about dust? Just dust is dust. Even though gold had a little bit of pullback in it, dust has not really been able to take off, and it's just right here. So it's doing nothing. It's coming off of a new low of $4.56, and momentum is pointing down even lower. And this one on the daily chart is only supported at $4.58. So, and with closing at $5.07, it's not looking good. Looks like that 456 is gonna be taken out. I suspect what's gonna happen is they're gonna let dust get further into the dust and go the way of TVIX and UVXY. They'll probably get and drop below a buck, and then they'll reprice it up to like $20, giving you another chance. And that way you can short it from 20. Shorting it from shorting any stock that's under $5 is a dangerous thing, and I'll tell you why. Because your downside is limited. If you short something at $5 and it goes to zero, you've only made $5. That's the max you can make. But your upside is unlimited. So in a situation, if it were to go parabolic on you and you're short here, and this thing were to gap up at 30, I don't mean a reprice. I don't mean reverse splits and all that. I'm talking about just for whatever reason, if this thing tomorrow opened up at 40, what would you do? If you were short down here at $4, what are you going to do when it opens the next day at 40? You're destroyed. You see what I'm saying? So get into the habit of not shorting a stock, below $5. $5 and below is ridiculous. Why are you shorting? You should have shorted when it was at 30 and 40 and 50, not when it's at $5. The only thing you're doing when you see a stock cheap like this, any stock that's $5 and below, that's when you're backing up the truck and getting ready to go hard when it does turn around. That's when you go hard. Or you buy a bunch of shares and just sit on it like you do your gold and silver physicals. That's what these kind of stocks are for, if that makes any sense to you, okay? All right, moving on. All right, looking now at GLD. GLD, see how that's a nice pop up there, taking out the prior day's highs. Well supported at 127.40. So definitely, if you're not in the GLD, then you probably need to be. You got to watch the sheet. Let the sheet trigger you into the trade. Do not try to chase the market. We do not do that. We don't chase the market. We let the markets come to us. The market will take you and put you in the trade, and it will take you out of the trade. You do not need to run and try to chase the trade. All right. Those of you who have the post wave sheet for this week, then you'll note where your post wave trigger is to get you in the trade. For this week, you're not there yet. All right. So don't get too happy and just jump in there. Sometimes you can do that and it'll work out for you, but that's not how we do. We use discipline in our trading, and we let the market come to us. When we go long, we let the market come to us and trigger us into trade. When we want to go short, we let the market come to us and trigger us into the trade. We stop ourselves long, we stop ourselves short. That's how we get in and out of these markets. All right, looking at your DDX now, looking at your gold miners, same thing. Starting to get a little pop here. Momentum's pointing up. Still has overhead resistance though at 31.75. So we'll see what happens. You know, all things being equal, if it doesn't happen on Take Back Friday tomorrow, it could happen next week. Just keep in mind we are in a negative pulse wave right here, even though the market's still bullish. So more downside could still come until you put it into the downtrend itself, or pullback, however you want to discuss it. Until you get out of the negative pulse wave situation scenario, you got to be cautious. All right. So just keep that in mind. You got to trade lightly until you are out of the woods on this one. All right. The junior miners again are showing more strength than the big boys. You see how this one totally took out yesterday's high, and we closed at 51.70, and good momentum as well, and it's well supported at $49.46. GDXJ is looking rather strong here. So you're going to want to, you know, refer to the weekly pulse waves to see where those are, and then you want to trade accordingly. Don't just rush yourself into the market. Let the market come to you. All right, as you can see, silver is the weaker of the two. All right, it's red today. All right, technically closing down lower than yesterday's close. Yesterday we closed at 1968, and today we literally closed at 1973. And so technically it was supposed to be really green there, but it's red. I mean, the momentum is kind of pointing up a little bit. Just remember though, we did have the crash warning for silver this week, and it kind of did it. You know, yesterday it got down to $19.32. So we can't ignore that. Okay, coming into it, we did hit a new low for this week. All right, this is a new low, so it did do it. All right, the system is playing out, the alert playing out like it should, and you're still in a negative pulse wave. Okay, you need to break 2066 as of today's close. If it can do it tomorrow, then it can put an end to the corrective phase of this and get back bullish again and head up to 22. All right, looking at SLV, pretty much the same scenario. Um, Again, you don't want to see a break below the orange long-term trend line of 1821, because then that puts you into the Kumo cloud of death, where it'll just move sideways like this, and it can ebb and flow at the bottom and the top of the Kumo cloud. All right, which is a dollar range now. You're looking at approximately 17 to 18 bucks. You know, that's a dollar of consolidation up and down for any length of time, perhaps 1.5 to 2 weeks. you could see that theoretically happen in the SLV if it breaks below support and gets into the cloud. All right, looking at your silver miner, you can see the silver miner fared better than the actual physical. Well supported now at 51.42. Momentum's pointing up. Looking good right now in this one. All right, looking at the junior silver miner, same scenario almost as the gold one, but not quite. It just couldn't quite best yesterday's high of 1928. We're going out at 1923. We did hit a high of 1929, so we bested it by a penny, but couldn't close above it. Just couldn't get enough momentum under it. But even still, it's well supported at $18.44. Well, what can we say about this? Here you're looking at the situation of the US dollar, and it's just not looking good. You're continuing to hit new lows. You just dropped below the Kumo cloud, and you're in danger of dropping below 494 and hitting into that 93 handle that I was telling you about. Remember what I said? If this Kumo cloud, if it breaks that support, it doesn't have support until it gets down to 93, and that's where it's heading now. 93 is in play now. All right, it's in play now. It's coming down, and it's doing it on good momentum, and this downtrend part of this cycle is locking in. You're in a negative pulse wave. There it is for you right there, folks. Those of you who trade futures, you would have been able to benefit this week from the shorting the US dollar, because the US dollar is on the sheet and the system triggered that short, and you can see that price for this week at 94.94. You've been hearing me mention that 94.94 for a minute now, for at least a week about, and that's what happened. It got triggered. We got down to 94.05, and here you are. All right, this is how the pulse waves work. Okay, so what else can you say? And last but not least, a quick look at that Bitcoin, so you can see what it's doing real quick. And as you can see here, excuse me, 571.10 is where you're at, and you know, it's not hitting new lows off of the dollar. It actually came back a little bit, but you can see at the beginning of the week we did. All right, here we go on the 13th, hitting 556.67, and then the next day it hit 558.11. All right, so here you are, 556 is what here we are on Thursday. This is Wednesday. This is Tuesday. This is Monday. This is Sunday night. This is Sunday and Monday. See what I'm saying? So you started your week off already in the continuation pattern from Friday. Look how it precipitously dropped from Friday. Okay. Then it came up. So it's almost like it's leading the dollar in a sense. Is this an indication that the dollar could get some kind of retracement back up like this? I don't know. The only thing I can tell you is that this overhead resistance right now is continuing to come down. We were up here at the 600 level. Now here we are approaching the 580 level. So we got these overhead trade winds pressing down on this market now. I did also post for you the technicals for the Bitcoins on the website, so you want to go check out that blog so you can see what those technicals are for this week for the Bitcoin, for those of you that have exposure in this market. All right, well, with that said, that's all we got time for today. So remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. You would benefit greatly from that, so you can see exactly what the market forces are up to. All right, switching our focus now to the equity side of the gold, looking at Nugget, ticker symbol NUGT. Now these leveraged ETFs, you gotta trade 1342, and it is locking in this bull trend cycle. So I expect that the 1380 to 1400 area, excuse me, should be challenged by next week. and we're setting pretty for that to happen. Excuse me. Should the 1400 area be show you some more information from the system chart. As a matter of fact, if you haven't already done so, you're going to want to uh, head on over to the blog, and I did post this week's system technicals for you for the gold market. All right, and I think that be taken out, and the market actually close above 1400, that could signal a parabolic upthrust in the gold market. So this market is starting to show signs of major powering up. In a following video, I will thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Vulcan Report. This end of day precious metals report is for trading on Thursday, August the 18th, 2016. Starting off with gold futures, you can see here that gold powered up a little bit today. Market's well supported at